through giving. So at the moment, we've got 4 Ukrainians living with us. And the other day, they're working as cleaners. They're getting, 3 buses across London for 2 hours to do a cleaning job and come back. And last week, one of their clients bought them a bouquet of flowers. And our lady, she got home and she just burst into tears because it just meant so much to her.
Simple stuff.
To have that gratitude and to have someone acknowledge the hard work and effort that she puts into, making her life a little bit nicer. It can just be really simple things.
Yeah.
That's lovely, isn't it? That's really lovely. It's interesting. You mentioned the survey that's been done as part of Thank You Day. And it shows that we're a helpful lot, aren't we, as a nation? That more than half of us help out our neighbours regularly, whether that's bit of DIY or putting the bins out. And maybe we want to, help with the bins.
There's a bin theme, isn't there?
Yeah, I think, often people, they do a lot of things and they don't necessarily consider themselves helpers or carers. And I think it's the unpaid carers as well that in this survey particularly came up as people deserving of the thanks that they don't necessarily get. And I think, particularly it often falls to women and they do all this work without considering it work. They just have it as their part of their responsibilities. And this is just a day to stop, put it in your diary and think of something special to do for those people.
And in your life, obviously, you've got a family of Ukrainians living with you. Who are the people that you want to say thank you to? Who else helps you?
Well, I'd say thank you to them. We can't leave a carrot or a beetroot unattended without coming back and there's a pot of borscht made.
Wow.
And we've got 2 little girls at home and they've got their little boy living with us and it's just it feels like a communal effort. So they do so much to help out, whether it's making borscht or looking after the kids, and they don't need to and they've got a lot on their plate. So we definitely want to say thank you. Sasha, Luba, Galia and Mikita. We love them.
You've done it and you don't have to wait till July.
If only they spoke English, but he's working on it. Mikita got here in September, not a word of English, and he's really coming on. It's gorgeous.
And how's it been going? We've spoken to families on Breakfast over the last few months, over the last year, who've hosted, and it's complicated and can be challenging, but rewarding.
It's so rewarding, and it's working for us. Our little girls absolutely love having this little boy. It's like they've got an extra brother and he's got little sisters that he looks after. He's like an extension of his mother and auntie looking after them, and he's had to, grow up before his years. He's just turned 8 years old, and he's really, a young little man because it's been forced upon him. But it's just a brilliant thing to be able to do, and we're just getting on like one big family.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because this idea of saying thank you out loud or doing something for someone to pass on your gratitude, maybe it will help the children who've had an awful time through the pandemic and, like you say, people who've had to come and live in this country after war. Maybe it will support them and change their attitudes going forward.
And I think, like we said about with the pandemic, it was a time to stop and take stock. And we realised, that some people, we all live different lives. You might be short with someone because one thing's not done perfectly, but you just forget about the backstory and the humans behind it. So this is an opportunity, it's a few months ahead to really just stop and think, what's going on in these people's lives? Do they have the gratitude that they deserve? And what can I do to make them just smile, just on one occasion? And it's about bringing communities together. Last year, 9 million people over this country got involved. So for, an organisation, an event that's was only in its 2nd year, I think that's fantastic. And hopefully this year even more will be.
Rachel, thank you so much for coming in and talking to us, making us all feel... I think particularly thanking volunteers is lovely, isn't it? Because I think sometimes we think about people who are doing paid work, but we forget the people who give up their time, so many of them, across the country to do really important work.
Thank you. Whichever camera I'm on, thank you to all of you.
You would not be surprised, Rachel, to know that we have had a lot of emails this morning from people who